3M. Oh, what a wonderful memory of 3M. Oh, it was my first job. I lived in Florida, and I through Active Software, I got a job at 3M. So I come up here to Minnesota, come back home, and uh, where I can be loved, come back home to Minnesota where I know they'll love me, right? Oh, oh yeah. Well, wait to hear this. Wait to hear this. Okay. So I'm working for my direct manager there was Janelle Hyder, and her boss, the main guy who hired me, his name is Bill Orn. And one second. So a little bit. Also, there's this lady named Barb, and what was going on? I was enhancing a product, computer program, and kind of building a new version of a system, and and it would eventually eliminate, when it was done, it would eventually eliminate Barb's position. Okay, Barb is sort of the contact for this that's going to test it out as well. But then she and I both know that this product, this program, when it's done, is going to eventually eliminate her. So we got a conflict of interest going here. I mean, it's like, and there would be like these times where she would call up and do this weird stuff, kind of a runaround thing. That's the best word for it. And I'm complaining a little. It was just like this runaround. It's like, I mean, it's uncomfortable for me because I like Barb, and unfortunately, she was kind of being a pain in the butt sometimes, helping me get this thing done. And it was, like I say, runaround. And I complained a little bit to Janelle. So one time I had a pretty major argument with her, and like I say, this runaround got me so frustrated. I kind of started yelling at her, and I got back to the management on the consulting side, the active software, and I was told I should probably apologize, so I did. So I was making a mark there with everybody, It was getting, but then it gets really good here when it comes to Janelle, my direct manager there. One second. Yeah, one thing Barb did do is like she would call and then hang up, and it was just like, oh wow. I mean, it was what uncomfortable position to be in. She's going to help me create a program that's going to eliminate her job. Well, that's just I realized in the aftermath of all this that was a setup by Bill Orn. I mean, that had to have been a 3M setup. I mean, who does this thing? Who does that unless it's intentional? So, anyways, as that project is going along, and that is unfolding with Barb, there's this thing with Janelle. What's going on here is that I become attracted to her. Okay. And I'm pretty sure she's attracted to me, right? And what would happen for like 3 or 4 months in a row, and it would happen right about the same time of the month, I would get this emotional thing that would go through my body. I don't know if I can. It's just like it just comes over me like. And what it's saying is that Janelle is in heat, and what I'm assuming was happening is that an egg has just come out of her chute, come out of her ovaries, and she is screaming, "Hey, Chris, it's Din Din, come get it, come get it. Let's fertilize this thing, And and I'm going, because it's like when I never had this before. This never occurred before to anybody, ever since or before, and yet for like 3 or 4 straight months this was occurring. And only on one day of the month. Oh my God, it's euphoric. It's a euphoric feeling. I should find a way to bottle this up and then sell it because it's good stuff, man. It's like if I could simulate it physically, it's just like this. But when it hits you, it's like, oh my God, I got to strip off my clothes and just start doing the wild thing, And and you don't know exactly what to do in the workplace. It's like, oh my God, how do I tell her, what do I do, So it just happened one day of the month, and I just let go, and I mean, but you know, it was like clockwork. It would keep happening. Like I said, about 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 months, and 1 second. So, anyways, to make matters worse, I had a failed business in Florida, and I'm going through bankruptcy. Okay, so this is adding a little bit to my nerves. Now, to add to this dilemma, to add to all this thing that's going on at 3M, and then my home life, and then to add to the home life, my upstairs neighbors are now stomping on the floor in the mornings and waking me up, and I'm getting a little bit frustrated with it and not really sure how to deal with it. I called management. This is at Carrington Courts, and I'm calling management a couple times, and I'm getting a runaround there too. It's like, okay, so I got a problem and you don't really care. That's pretty much what was going on. So, 1 second. So I got about 4 or 5 things going on, and also, by the way, I have since we moved to Minnesota for this entire 5 months I've been at 3M, I'm going to be expecting father for the first time, and I guess I believe there's a reality to the rumor that a new father has jitters. Okay, so this is adding to the madness. So I am a wreck. Okay, so one morning I got fed up. I got fed up with the neighbors upstairs, and I just lost. I didn't know what to do. I called the management up, and there were no response. So I just took care of matters on my own. I went outside with a rock and threw it through their window. Oh, Jesus. Well, that got attention pretty quick. I complain about the neighbors. I get no attention. They throw a rock through the window. Now, next thing you know, I got attention. So all of a sudden, I got immediate attention. That was the way, I guess. Good old Carrington Courts, they're really responsive to whenever you throw a rock through a window, but nothing else. So, anyways, I got that would result that I had to fix the window, and that would result in some kind of court thing. But it was anyways. So I got this going. Oh, and also Carrington Courts is kicking me out. They're evicting me for doing this, and of course they feel no responsibility for not keeping my private life, my apartment in a quiet array, right? So, anyways, they don't really care. It seems like nobody ever cares anymore about Roller. It was just we just want our money, and so you can just complain all you want, but when you throw a rock through it, and then I guess it's their complaint. Now everybody else is complaining, and whenever they complain, it's and then it's a big deal. So, anyways, I'm getting kicked out of there. I have to find a new place. So I got a lot of stuff. I'm still at 3M, and I got a lot of stuff going on. And now we got about 5 or 6, 7 things going on at the same time, and this is quite of a dilemma. So 1 second. So I've now found a new place to live, and this is all in Burnsville. So far, this is all in Burnsville, and so we still got this dilemma going on at 3M with Janelle and me being hot for her. So we talked. We went to lunch one time, and I just couldn't. There was definitely some feelings there for both. It was mutual at this lunch. But I don't know why I couldn't say it. But it was just like, what's wrong with saying, hey, let's mate, something like that. But I guess it was probably that we were both married. That was probably part of the problem. And it wasn't so much that she was my boss. I wasn't really concerned about that. It was just I really didn't know how to approach it. I never, never had an affair, I guess, but I needed to. I mean, basically, oh my God. Anyways, yeah, this is, when ladies are attracted to you, it becomes a mutual thing. It comes. I feel it, and it goes back to her. So it's like really quite powerful. Anyways, 1 second. So that luncheon was about within a week before my last day there, and a baseball gathering. A 3M was doing the Saints, the St. Paul Saints baseball game. So we all go there, and I see her there, and she sees me with my wife, and everybody, what happened? She's okay. What happened on the way home is that our cars are passing, and I guess she waved, and I caught the wave at the very last second, and then I didn't get a chance to wave before she took off and went by. So, I'm not exactly sure if that was it, but because I didn't wave back, she thought I was mad or something. Anyways, so I think there was some confusion going on, but one second. Anyway, so one second again. So I got a call from Dennis, my Active Software. 3M has complained, I guess, to Active Software, and some weird note concerning something that I've done wrong, and it was unclear what it was about. Nobody said it was from who it was from. It was just like an anonymous letter from 3M saying I'm a bad boy for some reason. I can't remember exactly, but so I say, maybe it's Janelle. And Janelle said something, so I went to her and asked her if this is what it's about. I said, I said, I'm sorry if whatever. Anyways, I also explained that I had these feelings for her, so I told her this right at that probably a wrong timing for all this, because I'm guessing she was the one that complained, but evidently it was a Black Widow thing. She is trying to kill the lust, and I guess she maybe interpreted something wrong. Anyway, I guess from the aftermath, I heard that maybe she was trying to protect herself, as though I have any power. I'm a consultant. I have no power over her job. It's like she's trying to. It's a Black Widow thing. It's kill the lust, do something destructive to kill the lust, I forgot to mention. Oh God. It was before this last thing, and after the luncheon, her egg dropped out of her chute again. I'm in a meeting, and this time I saw her when the feeling is on me. Okay, and I turn around like this just to see what's going on, and maybe I look surprised or like shocked. Anyways, I think that may have been what triggered this note to my company called Active Software. Because I think she got startled from, anyways, she has a dazed look about her when this is occurring. She is like in some kind of euphoria as well, and it's probably something related to lust, some kind of like, why doesn't that Chris just bend me over and do me, and of course that's pretty much my euphoria too, and. So anyways, there was something that caused this. It was after that the baseball thing occurred, and then the note occurred, and then after the note was literally. Well, I talked to her and expressed my feelings, which was probably bad timing. It was literally, I had about an hour left at that job, hour or two, and then I was gone. They asked me to leave, and it was it was sort of a scene. And one second. I guess I had created, according to Active Software, I created a sexually hostile environment. Okay, well, that's what being in heat will do, I guess. And I didn't start the heat. She did, but I don't really care. I do care that I now have no job, and I got a kid on the way here, and anyways, it's quite a mess going on here, and 3M or Active Software is like 3M's bitch, and anyways, what would happen? I would have to go to a meeting. I would have to a follow-up meeting the following day if I had to find out what was going on, and one second. Well, at Active Software, they were saying how I was telling the story. I said, basically, we were in heat for each other. What can I say? And they're looking at me. one of the guys, the other manager there. Uh, one second, one second. My manager at Active Software was Dennis DeBruin, but there was somebody else there that I just remember his expression when I told him like we were just both in he's just in complete disarray that I would even say this, much less that it was actually happening. It's like these things happen, Chris, but you don't actually talk about it like it's a reality, you know. He says, "Are you from another?" I think he said, "Are you from another planet or something? Are you what area what area did you come from?" Where did you come from, by the way? You know, what you from? I don't think he said planet. I said, "Where did you come from?" Like, you can't believe he's hearing this, and yet, I mean, I hear 50% of the workplaces having sex at the work, at work. So, you know, I was just trying to become a statistic, and it turns out I became a statistic. Um, um, so Active Software is just trying to cover their butt and all this, and they're you know they're getting ready to fire me because you know I'm just a troublemaker, and of course you know Active Software is 3M's bitch, and I'm sure 3M is in place trying to make sure that you know part of the next deal for the next contract with 3M is that Roller gets fired. You know, we make sure we get rid of this guy, make sure he never gets make sure his career is severed at the same time. You know. As I heard later, that was the plan. That was through the grapevine. This was the plan to. This was a career-ending move. What has happened here? But let me tell you what happened after that meeting with Active Software. I go home. Anyways, I'm supposed to come back the next day. Anyways, 2 days after I left, I think it was on a Wednesday when I was let go. On Friday morning is when my wife Maria went into labor, and so I was supposed to meet with Active Software that morning as well to finalize the paperwork. So for leaving, getting fired, and so my wife's in labor, and they don't believe it. They don't believe that they think I'm doing a runaround. They think I am, because they were like, you know, trying to make phone calls. They were trying to wonder where, you know, that I'm making this up so that I could not have to come in and sign the paperwork as though they're going to cut me a check or something. So I don't exactly know what their dilemma is. There's this big urgency. I guess 3M must have given quite a pile of money in order to get rid of my butt so quick. So, one second. Yeah, I guess you know, Active Software was worried that they may have to pay me an extra $50 or something for every day that they kept me. And they couldn't survive that hardship on their company. So, uh, so so one second. So anyways, it seems like they're calling around at my hospital to find out, yes, that indeed my wife is in labor, and so they believed it. They ended, and I told them, I called up Dennis Bruin, and I said, hey, you know, had a baby boy, you know, and it looks like everything's good, but so the timing of all this is, you know, you can imagine the pressure of this, and then you're probably at home wondering, you know, you're over in some other part of the world and wondering, you know, how exactly did that Chris Roller end up so messed up, you know? And you go, well, when you got 7 or 8 things happening at the same time, you know, it's sort of puts a burden on your shoulders, and it kind of drives you into the ground and pile drives you, you know. So if this wasn't bad enough, catch this. So the kid's born, and Dennis DeBruin, he has to. They have to finalize the paperwork. Evidently, there's some kind of hurry to get the paperwork for the firing done. So Dennis comes to my house. He takes it comes out of his way to drive to my place the following day on a Saturday, and deliver me the paperwork for the firing. Now, you know, that's an appropriate amount of time to a guy he just has his new baby, and one day afterwards is appropriate. You know, can't wait till Monday or you know. So I was looking up the word. I guess it would be like Minnesota is Satanism, and I'm a masochism. I'm into masochism. This is Minnesota is Satanist, and I'm into masochism, where I just enjoy getting it in the receiving end, and this was my welcoming to Minnesota. This was just 5 months into Minnesota. All this hell. I've got I'm a job firing, career-ending job firing. I've got a new kid on the way, and now I'm trying to figure out how to feed my family again. I'm not again. This is the first time, and 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 I'm just, all this is just compiled. It's like bankruptcy occurred. It's like um, it was quite a trying time. I gotta say, man. And this was my Minnesota welcome. Welcome to Minnesota. Welcome back to Minnesota, Chris, where the land of 10,000 losers, And I seem to run into them all. Um, and One second. And if this wasn't enough, there is also going on at 3M for the ninth thing or 10th, whatever I've counted up here, is Lorena Prime. There's this lady that is just causing me problems. I think she's like sort of attracted to me. At the same time, she is just wants to cause me trouble. She is just she's in good with Bill Orrin. So again, I'm just a consultant. I'm a peon in this place. That's part of the problem with consultants, is that they are treated like dirtbags and as a piece of meat that can be easily thrown away. So that was another thing that was going on. I can't remember all the details with her, but it was just so she's like a loose cannon, man. Um, um, Anyways, I had to avoid her whenever possible. It was like she was a Black Widow. She just was doing whatever she could to destruct me to make her feel good. And that's what this Black Widow was with Janelle Hyder. Is she needed to do something destructive to feel the goodness she had been feeling. And Active Software was then bought by ComSys, or I don't know if my incident had caused some a hiccup in Active Software's glitch, but they then sold to ComSys, and that could have just been a natural thing too. I don't know, but I do know through the grapevine, these recruiters, I can't remember his name, but anyways, I did get a job within 2 weeks. Luckily, I found another job. I'll talk about that in another link, but from one of the recruiters, I heard that through the grapevine, they were making innuendo that we hear things, we hear what happens, Chris, and there was some inkling about anyways, recruiters knew about this, and I guess they were somewhat. I don't know if they were more shocked at what happened, or that they're stunned. I mean, that's the bottom line. Stunned about everything, that maybe that I got another job, maybe that I somehow survived this. But there was also some concern for my sort of career safety as well. They were like, this is. Anyways, so 1 second. Dennis DeBruin also lives at the time in Burnsville, and I saw him coincidentally walking in a shopping mall, and he encountered me, and he said, "How's it going?" I said, "Well, I'm working at a place," and he goes, "Really? Where at?" I didn't tell him. It was just like he was shocked that I got a job, And it's like it wasn't shocked happy that I got a job because I could provide for my kids. It was shocked like almost disappointment, Oh, really? I mean, maybe who, so I can maybe help get rid of that job. If I know who it is, and I'll tell them what happened, As I can't help it. There's must be a lot of pawns in this claim, because I think Dennis Bruin is an all right guy, but he was doing some mighty evil stuff, and I believe that he has been in some ways bitch, and it is it's just Minnesota nice. This is what it's about. This is how you operate in Minnesota. You're just a bunch of buttheads. So I forgot to mention that my cousin Wayne Roller works at 3M, and we had I went to his place for the NCAA finals game in 1997. And I thought it was going pretty good, but I was kind of like bragging myself up a little too much or something, because my life was actually going kind of down, and I was trying to brag myself up, and he got the very end of the conversation. It's like it built to a climax. It's like his tolerance just built to a climax, and it finally snapped or something, because it didn't. It didn't end well. It was a weird ending to this night, and it's weird how these managers. He's a manager there as well, and I'm pretty sure he's knew of Bill Orrin as very much, and they claim they never do. They're very two-faced. These managers, they're pretty much evil squared. You know, they're evil raised to the power. You really, it's hard to actually believe anything these guys say. Anybody that's a manager anywhere, it's really hard to believe anything they say. I do not know how they. I'm not sure how they can live with themselves. I heard somebody was I talked to a friend, an acquaintance, another worker at 3M, who says he went to manager and then came back because it was a haunting experience of the things that were to be done, and he couldn't even make mention what those were. It was just so nasty what was going on behind the scenes that he got back out of management and became a peon again, and the money wasn't worth it. So evidently there are some people with moral values, but if you're not those type, then you get promoted to managerial positions where you talk behind rollers' back, set them up on weird projects in which causes conflict of interest with everybody involved. Set roller up with an extremely hot lady named Janelle, who's a manager who's probably had maybe some affairs in the past, and they knew this, and they knew that hot roller is going to hook up with Janelle eventually. So just get them together, and they'll eventually mate. We can it's a ripe setup. I mean, and then 3M's probably involved in this stomping going on at Carrington Courts with. I'm pretty sure they were involved in that little episode there with Carrington Courts and those neighbors. I'm pretty sure that was some kind of a payoff of some sort to cause me problems, and then I would get evicted and find a new place, and real big mess. And what were the other 8, 9 things, 10 things that I mentioned that were it appeared to be quite a setup for Chris's introductory to Minnesota. But if this wasn't bad enough, it would be like I had this metamorphosization, I call it, on mytrumanshow.com, where a big hit occurred. This is the hit before my morph. The night of 27th of April, 1999. The night before that, there was a hit involved, and it involved the entire gamut of my history of my past 10, 15 years of people involved, and one of them was Bill Orrin and Wayne Roller. And so they were all involved in this extravagant hit, and there's a bunch of others in this, but it wasn't good enough that they could fire me and try to ruin my career, but then they had to kill me too, and they just can't seem to get it done though. They got my career ended. They got that done, but they can't kill me. And so, if I were 3M, if you're listening to this, all the managers at 3M, I strongly recommend you hook up with the mafia and try to figure out a way to kill me. And you need to do it quick, because I got some tricks up my sleeve, and I'm hoping they're coming quick. I'm hoping I can show them in reality pretty soon, because it's going to be delightful for you. I love you at 3M. I love you too. I love you guys. I never sued him because I just didn't get around to it yet. Everything was failing with my other lawsuits, so I didn't even bother. But actually, I'm not even sure what it would be. To tell you the truth, that's part of the reason. But they were also involved in a number of hits. Bill Orrin and Wayne Roller, just just hit happy, man. That's probably why they're my best friends too, though. That's probably why we probably get along real good nowadays, just because the people that kill me the most are my most loved friends, you know. So, um, but I haven't really talked to them in person in quite some time, including Wayne Roller. But um, occasionally in a reunion we'll see. But we don't talk much about this stuff. It's not based on reality in some aspects, except for when I get fired and bent over and almost literally bent over. It was that fierce that it was like wow. So hurry up and kill me, boys. Good luck though. Good luck. A lot of people tried.